Welcome back. We're getting you all the action, all the drama as far as the Maharashtra Mahabharat is concerned. The crisis only continues and the story is developing on various fronts. As we have been saying over the past 1 week, there will be 4 key arms to where the developments will take place. Number 1 is with the Deputy Speaker, because Deputy Speaker, Maharashtra Assembly does not have a speaker. So whatever decision he takes. So what has the Deputy Speaker done? He had summoned 16 rebel MLAs saying that please present your case before 5:30 p.m. Failing which, you may face some action. There was a plea against the Deputy Speaker that he's biased. He's rejected his own plea, something which came up in the Supreme Court also, which is the second part of this story. The matter has now reached the courts. 1 week later, now the Supreme Court is still deliberating, still talking, trying to understand the complications of this case. Different lawyers, top lawyers representing different parties here, the Maharashtra government being represented, Uddhav Thackeray being represented, Centre being represented, rebel MLAs being represented. All top lawyers are representing the various stakeholders in this particular case. The story of the governor, that is the third dimension in this story. The governor is yet to step into the picture. Remember, he had COVID. He's out of action right now. But eventually, if there is any claim to government formation, then obviously people will go to the Raj Bhavan, approach the governor on staking claim. And then the fourth is something which you can see in abundance, lots of pictures also on your screen, is the politics on the ground. That's the fourth dimension. Politics on the ground has not stopped since last week. There are new twists and turns every day, and also the head count as far as the rebels are concerned is continuously increasing. We are hearing more MLAs are joining in Guwahati. All right. Some breaking news coming in. This matter will be heard on the 11th of July. So the court, remember the court is in recess right now. There is a vacation in the Supreme Court. So the vacation bench was hearing this particular matter, but it has been shifted to the 11th of July, and that's an unusually long time as far as the Supreme Court's intervention is concerned. The court is now going to hear this matter only and only on the 11th of July. That's the latest that we are getting. The Supreme Court has suggested whether so more details. Let's try getting in Sukirti on the phone line. Sukirti, our colleague, is getting a lot of information. The Supreme Court has given its order. It says Supreme Court has issued notice to Deputy Speaker, Chief Whip Sunil Prabhu and Leader of the Legislative Party Anil Chaudhary and the Centre on Shinde's plea. So Shinde's plea has not only been admitted, but notices have also been issued. The SC has directed that these people file their affidavits within 3 days, counter affidavits then in 5 days, rejoinders in 3 days thereafter, and then the matter will subsequently be heard on the 11th of July. So as far as legality of this case is concerned, there is a long drawn process which has begun as far as the legal process is concerned. On the issue of the Deputy Speaker's notice to MLAs and the 5:30 p.m. deadline, the Supreme Court is discussing and about to give its order. The Supreme Court suggests whether the issue of Deputy Speaker's notice to the MLAs should be kept in abeyance for the time being. The Supreme Court has asked whether Deputy Speaker would like to say so himself or the SC should say so in an order. The hearing is still on. Let's see if we can get Sukirti. Sukirti, can you hear me? Okay, we'll try to go back to Sukirti. She is still in court. We are being told the hearing is still on. The hearing is not complete. Do we have Arvind? Okay, Arvind and Sukirti, as soon as the hearing gets completed, we'll try to get on with them. We will speak to them. Saurabh, I believe, is now with us. Saurabh, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, Saurabh, so lots of developments taking place, the real action in the Supreme Court right now, where the Supreme Court very interestingly says, number 1, this matter will be heard on the 11th of July. So it has been postponed to a time when the court will not be in vacation, number 1. But the Deputy Speaker, Chief Whip Sunil Prabhu, Leader of the Legislative Party Anil Chaudhary, all of them are expected to file their affidavit in the court in the next 3 days, then counter affidavit in 5 days, then the matter rejoinders in 3 days, and then the matter will be heard. Are you preparing yourself, Saurabh Gupta, for a very, very, very long Maharashtra political crisis?
Well, Sanket, we've seen one 2 years ago, and that was quite a long one. One only hopes that this won't be as long drawn as that battle. And of course, that more importantly, I am actually, Sanket, more worried about these MLAs. Are they going to stay in Guwahati till 11 July? That's going to be quite a hefty hotel bill then. And obviously, are they going to return before that? Because clearly at this point, one of the things that we've been discussing outside of what's been happening in the Supreme Court is these are MLAs who've taken an oath in the Maharashtra Assembly to serve the people of Maharashtra. They are practically holidaying in Guwahati. If you see, very casual outfits, and somebody's also put out a schedule on Twitter, though it's not verified. But some of those things seem to be actually happening there. They're having birthday celebrations there. They're all pretty happy there, but forgetting that they've taken an oath in the Maharashtra Assembly to serve the people of Maharashtra. So now that this has been pushed, the date has been pushed because the Supreme Court wants to hear all parties involved and has issued notices to Azay Chaudhary, who's the chief, legislative party leader now, having removed Eknath Shinde from that position. Then, of course, to Sunil Prabhu, the chief whip, and also, to the deputy speaker Narahari, Mr. Zirwal, and of course,
sorry,
the others
I'll have to
involved.
cut you short.
So
I'm going to come back to you, my friend. Please do stay with us. Arvind Gunasekar now joins us from outside the Supreme Court. Arvind, can you sum up what exactly do we know as of this moment on the various aspects that were discussed?
So, Sanket, the very first question at the beginning of the hearing was from Supreme Court, when the Supreme Court asked the petitioner, that's the rebel MLAs, asking them why did they come to Supreme Court directly and not to High Court, for which the petitioners said that because the environment or the atmosphere is not very conducive for them due to the threats by several Shiv Sena leaders, and that's why they had to come to Supreme Court. That's the first very question from the Supreme Court for which the petitioners or the rebel MLAs answered. The second very important argument from the rebel side was regarding the jurisdiction or the authority under which the Deputy Speaker is continuing with the disqualification proceedings. The rebel MLAs, citing the Supreme Court judgment, 5 judges judgment, said that because there is a no confidence motion pending against the Deputy Speaker, that's why the Deputy Speaker cannot go ahead with the disqualification proceedings. So that's why the huge or the main argument of the rebel MLAs were premisely on this particular point, whether the Deputy Speaker is entitled or whether he has authority to go ahead with the disqualification proceedings, and they relied on the 5 judges judgment wherein they said the Deputy Speaker cannot go ahead with the disqualification proceedings. So appearing for the Thackeray faction, senior advocate Abhishek Manu Singhvi said there is this 8 judges judgment that was given in 1961 by the Supreme Court, wherein Supreme Court had clearly said unless and until a disqualification matter attains finality, no constitutional court can intervene in this particular matter. And that's why he said only notices have been issued to the rebel MLAs, and that's why the courts cannot intervene at this particular stage. So that's where the Supreme Court asked the Deputy Speaker whether what's the status of the no confidence motion pending against him, for which Deputy Speaker said that this particular notice for the no confidence motion that was moved against the Deputy Speaker was rejected because it was sent from a not unverified mail ID. It was not submitted by any MLA. It was sent by a private person from his mail ID, and that's why for want of authenticity or for want of verification of this genuineness of this particular communication, and that's why it has been rejected. So the court again asked a very pertinent question: can the Deputy Speaker reject a motion against himself? For which Abhishek Manu Singhvi gave an affirmative answer, saying that as a master, when the motion or when the notice is not as per the procedure, then he is well within his right to reject any such notice for motion. So that's why the Supreme Court has asked the Deputy Speaker to submit all the relevant records regarding this particular no confidence motion that was moved against him, and the matter has been adjourned for July 11th, wherein the Supreme Court has issued notices to all the respondents here. But the bone of contention as of this moment is on what should be the interim order. Can Supreme Court issue an interim order? Because the respondents say that the petitioners say, the rebel MLA say say that they have been asked to respond by 5:30 p.m. today, and they are saying that they have not been complied with the principle of natural justice of adequate time, that is 14 days period. So in such a case, can the Supreme Court pass an interim order, for which senior counsels are arguing that there is this 8 judges bench judgment that clearly says the Supreme Court cannot intervene at this stage because only notices have been issued. So that's why Supreme Court is asking the Deputy Speaker, can he himself adjourn the proceedings at least till July 11th, so that Supreme Court can hear the matter on the very next day, that is on July 11th. So that particular bone of contention, whether the rebel MLA should appear today or whether the Deputy Speaker will adjourn the hearing or adjourn the hearing that has been scheduled for today, is something that is still being argued.